Hello, good evening, and welcome to the second installment of the transfer agenda for this week. I am Gav, that is Grizz, that is Keith, and we're going to bring you all the news that we have looked at throughout the day with regards to Liverpool, the Premier League, and further afield with regards to summer transfers. Before I start though, Grizz, what show would you like to be on that bike doing your exercise, because we have passed 10k?
Yeah, it's got to be done now, isn't it?
100%.
I knew, but you know what? I really appreciate you asking me which show. I mean, that's very kind of you. I thought I'm going to be just forced onto the next show. So look, the first stage is I need to get it out of the shed. Okay.
Right, that's the first step. Okay, the steps to this are like it.
The steps to this. Look, I'm very realistic. Secondly, obviously give it a good wipe, clean.
Okay.
It's been in the shed all winter.
Sorry, Keith, do you get the impression he's going to find as many steps as he can here before he actually gets on it?
So
steps up along
I'm a man of my word. No, man of my word. 10k. We promised the viewers, listeners, subscribers. Amazing of them to reach that milestone for us, and so therefore I shall be doing it. Give me a week.
Okay.
Sort of, you know what I mean?
I'll tell you what. I will give you not this fatback for this Sunday, but the fatback for the following Sunday.
I think that's very fair.
Okay, because that will mark the end of the winners week, which we're going to have next week, which we will go into. I'll go into a little bit more detail. R. Kumar says, congrats on the 10k. David Rice says, amazing achievement, reaching 10k, fully deserved, hardest working guys on YouTube. Look, well done to you, all of you, for getting the 10k, because you're part of it. And look, it's a big achievement for us, because I suppose when we started this last June or July, we never kind of put a figure on it. But we thought we got the 10k by the end of this season, and we've just about done it. We can still say we got the 10k by the end of the season. We would have been absolutely delighted, but to get there today was brilliant. You know, we got loads of messages. We got, like, not only just on Twitter, but personally got loads of messages and stuff like that. And the only thing that's upset me about it is the fact that people keep calling me boss, and I'm not anyone's fucking boss, and keep just mentioning my name, and it's not only down to me. Yeah, I run things from day to day, but the looks of the two lads you have in front of you, you know, Phil, Andy, Shawnee, Davo, Chris Brack, loads of, all the lads, like, name them, just keep naming them that you see on the screen. They all help. They all do loads to help us. Davo, I said Davo, Gar Breen, who helps us with our Instagram, Stephen, that's not even on podcast, that helps us with our Twitter. You know what I mean? So there's so many people that help this, but the biggest people that help the most is you people. You watch it and you spread the word, and that's all we've ever asked for, is to like, to share, spread the word, and we'll do the rest. And as I said, we want to keep this going and going and going, and, you know, and for free. We've always said that, for free. And, like, we just, I don't know, all of us today were kind of a bit thrown by it. We were a bit like, fuck it, actually we did get there, and our next target is 20, and then it'll be 30, and then it'll be 40. But the most important thing is to always have these people watching, because there's no point in having 50,000 subscribers and there's 20 is watching. Do you know what I mean? We want you all in here watching and giving your opinions, and your opinions make it. So from me and the lads, thanks to everyone that's subscribed, and if you continue to like and share, we'll continue to do this. So that's how it goes. Keith, would you like to say anything on it before we move?
No, I just think you're being very self-deprecating there, Gav, because, well, yeah, it is a joint effort. We all put in a bit of a shift. I think it's right that you get called the boss man, to be honest.
No, I don't. I hate it.
Do behind, I know, well, you won't say it, but the amount of work you do behind the scenes and on all of these shows, even the ones you're not on, you know, it's hard graft that you're putting in. So look, you've put in the work. We're getting to where we want to be. We're not there yet, but we're going in the right direction. You know what I mean? And we keep saying this. We're not trying to be know-it-alls, and, you know, we know more than everyone else. The thing about the Daytrippers, I find, I'll just speak for myself on this, and I know Grizz isn't a drinker, but it's like sitting in the pub with your mates talking about football. Do you know what I mean? It's the sort of thing, like the things we say on these shows is the sort of things you'd say when you're with your mates in the pub. We're not trying to be something we're not. We're just normal fellas just talking about football. And you're right, the community that builds up, we can have 100,000 subscribers. but it's the interaction we have in the chat and on Twitter and social media and all that really helps what we want to do and the type of show that we want. Do you know what I mean? And the following that we want. So look, it's going in the right direction, but don't play down your own role in that, Gav.
No, don't play down my own role. I just don't know. I don't overhype it. Because like I can put in as much work as I want, but if you lads aren't willing to go along with it, it doesn't happen. You know the kind of way. So that's the way I kind of look at it. Grizz, you'll want to say a few words on it as well, but I want to throw a question at you while we're at it. And Richard Held says congrats on the 10k. Thanks to me. There's loads of people saying congrats and trying to make up names for me, which isn't going to fucking happen because I can turn either of these pricks off at any time. But Grizz, first of all, like you were blown away by it today, but how much does getting that 10k push us on to what we want to do next season? Because what we want to do next season is more. It's definitely more. It's more. I think we're professional enough as we go, but I think it's going to go up 2 or 3 levels next season. There's no doubt about that, both visually and audio wise and stuff like that. But how much does that push us on when you see what the people do and back you and follow you and give their time, I suppose, every night to come in here and give their thoughts and feelings and help drive these shows on?
Yeah, look, whatever Keith said, I want to just multiply by 2. He was bang on, spot on. Very few people know how hard you work, Gav. And, you know, I take the piss out of you, you take the piss out of me, and we have a laugh and a joke. And it's brilliant. No, it is, honestly, it's brilliant. But no one, I think apart from me and Keith, probably knows how much you actually put into this and how much effort you've put in from the start. From a personal point of view, it's been an absolute pleasure this first season. We didn't know how it was going to go. We kind of just said, look, let's give it a bash. But we believed in each other. And the first season's been an absolute eye-opener for me. Working with you guys has been an absolute fucking pleasure. It's brilliant. What we're like here, we're off screen as well. And that's the beauty of it. And I think that relays in the shows and in the chemistry, and people recognize that we aren't fake. We aren't putting on arguments, debates, chats. We actually have disagreements. We agree on a lot. And as Keith says, we're absolutely trying to give the ultimate fan experience in terms of on a podcast, if you know what I mean. Like we're not pundits. We're not businessmen. We're not people that work in the game as full-time on a full-time basis. We all have, from what I can remember, we all have our own jobs, our own lives, but yet we come together, try to come together 4 or 5 evenings a week. And the key word, what you've used before as well, is try to speak and engage the community that we've built. And it's an amazing community. I have no doubts. I've been on many podcasts, as you know, Gav. You sometimes tell me off. But there's no community like our one. The LFC Daytrippers community is second to none in terms of interaction, in terms of knowledge, in terms of respect. It's second to none. And as you said, we can only grow. And this is just the first milestone of many. And I just want to thank you, everyone, absolutely everyone who has been involved in this. And it's the people it is the people's show. It's brilliant. We rely on the chat. We rely on their information. We rely on their views on us, and we take it further. It's brilliant.
Yeah, because when it comes to like organising shows or planning shows or what we should do, and especially when it comes to the summer, because there's no football on, the Euros don't count. That's when the viewers come into their own and they tell you, like, I'll do a draft, do a quiz. Can you and Andy come on for an hour and just absolutely shite out for an hour? And, you know, we'll do it. We'll do it during the summer. That's where you really take hold and drive something on. You know, Owenburg says, I'd rather hear that reunion pod you did than win the PlayStation 5. That reunion pod, it never came out. We couldn't get the audio to work whatsoever. But Owen, I promise you, during the summer, if we get a chance, we will record. Well, we can't do it live. We've done it live, we'll be closed down. It's as simple as that. But we might do something on an audio basis and release it for you. Pat Panesar, of course, Pat Benatar's best friend, says, congrats on 10k, guys. Keep up the great work. Your content is absolutely brilliant. And Matt Sweeney says, hopefully the studio is a goer in the not too distant future. Always thought that this was a class setup. Matt, it is a goer. Once COVID goes and we're able to be the situation is that where our studio is, it's right beside someone's house. You know what I mean? So we have to go through someone's property to get to our studio, and it's on their property, and we can't be going onto that property the way it is at the moment, and we have to respect the people that are there. But with regards to the studio, it has been left idle for it's a year now, more than a year. Work needs to be put into it, and it will be put into it to make it as best it possibly can be, hopefully by the summer. But like people ask me, like, do you make money from this? I have made money from this year, but I can promise you, I'd say by the end of the year, 80% of what I've earned will go back into the studio and new equipment, and all the lads that have to be given microphones and earphones and cameras and whatever it might be. It's all going back in, absolutely all going back in, because I took the decision to go full time a year ago. But as this year has gone on, and this season, I thought, you know what, let's pump it all back in and see where it can go and make it as best as we possibly can. So that's the way it is. I'm just being completely upfront and honest with you. We do have sponsors. We do make money from YouTube. We do make money from audio downloads, but literally 80% of it, which is not a hell of a lot of money, is going back into to making this bigger and better. As it possibly can be over the next year or so, and continue on from there. I'm going to lose these super chats now in a minute. I'm going to get into trouble. Evening, gentlemen. Can you do a show selecting your all-time Liverpool team in the Premier League to challenge the current team? And congrats on 10,000. Says Dinesh Karoy, FSG out of Liverpool FC. I always read his name in full once on every show. But listen, we just like to say thanks to all of you for supporting us, and as we've always said, your support by liking stuff, sharing stuff, and interacting is way better than anything we can think of. So if you continue doing that, we will absolutely do our best for you. Right, that's enough of that. Now, let's
before we move on, we've another one of the fatback four in the chat room there as well.
Have you?
You know, Shawnee Lawson is as big a part of this as well, but he's hiding away in Carrick Shannon at the moment. So you know, he's as much of a grafter as the rest of us on this, if not more.
Yeah, no, listen,
head of everything.
He is head of everything. He's the head of everything. He's the Chancellor and Minister. We've given him new titles and all now. Chancellor, Minister, and head of stuff. And if you need that, yeah, Shawnee. Us three just do pods. Shawnee makes all the decisions. Right, lads, this is a transfer agenda show. We have 45 minutes before we go, because we did agree that we finished by 11 o'clock tonight. And I want to start with Youri Tielemans. And Grizz, I'll come to you first. His name has popped up. I seen the other day with Manchester United, actually. That's when his name first popped up, and it kind of piqued me interest, because I was trying to work out how many years has he left on this contract with Leicester. It looks like they're offering him a new deal. He doesn't know whether he's going to sign, and now Liverpool's name have come into the hat. Is there a genuine interest here, Grizz? Because it is midfield we're looking at. Is there genuine interest, or is there a bit of a feeling off this that, you know, this is agents playing games now, throw Liverpool's name in the hat? Because we've seen it so many times over the years, Grizz, where a player's name appears under the banner of Liverpool, and next thing he's signed a mega deal with his current club.
It could be that, but I'd like to think that it's a genuine interest, because you look at a player's profile, and then you look at his ability and the way he plays and conducts himself and all of these things, and you think to yourself, he's got everything about him that says a Liverpool player. I think there is a genuine interest. I think he's 100% on a short list of possibly 3 or 4, as we do with every position, as we do with every player. And I want to be linked with him. I'm very happy that we're linked with him because of the performances he's put in, Gav. For the last couple of seasons at Leicester City, he's been an absolute joy to watch. Near enough every match of the day consists of once a month consists of a brilliant goal from Tielemans, whether it's a team goal or where he's been involved in a pass, or one of those thunder bastards like in the FA Cup final. So he's young, I think 24. Mm-hmm. You know, has had a brilliant footballing education at the likes of Anderlecht to start off with, and then went to Monaco, where he played with a certain Fabinho. So he's got a connection, and he knows one of the main men at Liverpool now, which is Fabinho. And then he's come to Leicester, Gav, and A lot of people sort of said, he could have gone to a bigger club, but I think he's been clever. I think he's got the right guidance from his agent and people working around him. And I think Leicester's been a brilliant move for him. I know you're not a massive fan of Brendan Rodgers, but I think he's a fantastic coach, and you can tell he's improved and grown as a player. He's got the attributes that we're looking for, Gav. And one of the first attributes that we're looking for in players this season is availability, durability. We need some durable players and people that are available and obviously talented. And we're talking top end now. Gav, I think you heard my emotional rant the last episode where I'm not going to accept mediocre and sort of finding gems at a low rate and then trying to develop them. No, we're looking for players that are absolutely on top of their game and going into the peak of their career, and if not already at the peak of their career. And this guy is one of them. Yes, he's going to be expensive, but I read somewhere about a clause that if they're not in a top four and they're not in the champion, and then if a Champions League club comes in for him, he has a clause. So that could be something to keep an eye on, because we're looking for clauses all around Europe. We are.
Makes sense.
Yeah, well, that does make sense, because, he goes there on loan. They sign him permanently. I was surprised nobody else was in him at the time, because he was raved about at Anderlecht and also at Monaco. And then you see him on loan at Leicester, and he's a talent. And you know what? Don't get me wrong. Leicester are a really well-run club. They look after their players. They're even you see their owner after the FA Cup, they look like a really tight club. You know what I mean? But I was surprised bigger clubs went in for him, and it would make sense that Leicester will be offering him a contract, saying, "Listen, there could be a clause there, but let's offer him a contract, more money, and we can bin that clause because we know his value is going up and up and up." But Keith, A, do you see Liverpool being interested? And B, if they are interested and they're willing to bring in Youri Tielemans, what way do you see the shift going on in midfield? Is it just a case of when Aldham's gone, we're bringing in Tielemans? Because I don't think they're the same player at all.
No, they're not the same player. But, I'm sort of sceptical about paying the money for Yves Bissouma because he's Premier League ready. Now, the money it's going to take to get Youri Tielemans because he's Premier League ready will be absolutely whopper. And if we have to pay, I don't know what the figures I mentioned, but if you're paying, let's say, I heard someone mentioning 80 million, right? He's not going to be 80 million, nowhere near.
Let's say between 50 and 60.
60. That's what I'm thinking. That's what I'm thinking, Grizz. Yeah, between that, if you're paying 50 to 60 million for a player, he's going in there. Do you know what I mean? He's not a bleeding, he's not a squad addition. Now, people mention the Naby Keita trade to Leicester. I don't know if there's any legs in that. That could be something if Brendan Rodgers is keen on a Naby Keita and we could do a deal like that. That may be what Liverpool could look to do as well. But as with regards to his role and could he suit the team, yeah, he could. The issue I have with Bissouma, I'm not looking to dig Bissouma out, is I don't think Bissouma can only really, he's a good destructive player. He would be like a Fabinho, maybe. I know, Grizz, you're a big fan, and I had a row with Avi over this as well. I just think when Gini Wijnaldum came in, he was an attacking player, and Klopp was able to nearly curb that and use his creativity and then build the defensive solidity maybe around that. And I think you could do similar with Tielemans that I don't think you can do with Bissouma. I think Bissouma is not a one-trick pony, but he's the type. He's a type of player, and that's what he would be for us. I think Tielemans is an absolute savage of a player. If we could get him, he was highly rated at Anderlecht. He went to Monaco, and it was a surprise he went to Monaco. He seems very clever. He seems very clued in the moves that he makes, because he went to Monaco, and I'm assuming Jardim was the coach there at the time. There was young midfielders, there was young players, young squad, getting a game, getting a chance. He went there. He could have gone to a bigger club at that stage. Then he goes to Leicester on loan, and there wasn't a sniff of anyone else getting him, making that permanent. Leicester done it early. They done that early. They knew what they were doing. I think he could be. I'm a huge Hossam Aouar fan as well, right? And for the money you're talking about, Hossam Aouar, if you can get Tielemans, I'd take Tielemans, because I just think people mention he's like Steven Gerrard. and he is a bit, you know what I mean? He's that type of player. I think he's what we hope Naby could be. Now I'm not saying he's exactly like Naby. Naby's
I think there's more of a comparison to Naby than to Steven Gerrard personally. I don't think he's as powerful. I know some people have said he's powerful. He's not powerful. I think he's fairly stocky. He's not the tallest, but again, but the comparison Naby I think suits him very well because he's very low gravity. He's about the same build, same height, same size. I think he's got a better strike than Naby.
Well, that's where I think the Gerrard comparison is, Grizz. It's
he's more direct. It's more. When you look at powerful, when you think of powerful, you're thinking of powerful runner and stuff like that. I see him as more of a pass. He's a passer of a football, if you get me. That's my opinion. He has got that low centre of gravity, but I think he's a passer rather than. We all expected Naby to be picking balls up and gliding by 2 or 3 people. I don't see that in Tielemans. What I think of Tielemans is he likes to orchestrate, but I think he likes to orchestrate that bit further up the pitch. Do you know what I mean? And that's where the Houssem Aouar thing is interesting because the talk is 25 million on him, and I'm wondering do you pay 25 on Naby to go to Tielemans, or do you pay 25 and you look to sell Naby? So it's not. Or you don't sell Naby. You don't sell Naby. It's a strange one.
But Gav, you talk about the prices.
I think it's his goal threat that would interest us.
But Gav, you talk about the prices, and Keith mentioned a few others. This is what it comes down to when we have to make a decision like this. So we've described Bissouma as not harsh. I mean, we don't want to sound harsh, but not sort of define him as just a dominator, a destructive player. But his main trait is sort of being able to cover ground, breaking up attacks, and being able to be good on the ball, right? But then we're looking at the other two. So Tielemans and Houssem Aouar that we've been linked with, and Neuhaus of Borussia Mönchengladbach. 3 completely different type of players. Now, obviously, price-wise, Tielemans is probably double of Houssem Aouar, Neuhaus, and Bissouma. This is but he's got the potential to be able to do all them roles, and that's what you pay for sometimes. Keith, do you agree? Like, sort of, so because he's 50 million, you're getting a player that can play in a double pivot.
Yeah,
he can maybe do it on his own as well in an emergency. Number 6, he's got high intelligence levels to be able to play that on his own, and he can definitely play as an 8. So that's what you get when you're paying 50 million for a midfielder. He's prime time. Whereas Bissouma is developing, but also he's 25, 30 million. Houssem Aouar is more attacking, and then you'd have to develop him very similar to Curtis Jones into teach him the defensive side of things. And this guy's ready-made. So I think that's where the price is.
Do we all agree that Liverpool would sign 2 midfielders in the summer? Because Shawnee said there in the chat he thinks that we need 2 in the summer, right? Do we all think 2 come in? Because I think it is a case of 2 come in. I can't see why you couldn't. Like, when all them gone, I think 1 more midfielder will leave, and I can't see why you could not do Bissouma and Tielemans. And I said the other night, Bissouma and Aouar, if you wanted to evolve this side into a much more of a threat from midfield. Tielemans is kind of a hybrid of that. He wouldn't have to be, in my opinion, he wouldn't have to be coached as much as Aouar would into the defensive side of things, but he has got that threat at the same time. Are we all agreed that two come in, Keith?
I think 2 should come in, yeah, but it depends on what we can do getting players out, because, you know, if you look at the makeup of our midfield, you've got Fabinho, you've got Thiago, and you've got Henderson. Let's say they start in the 3 roles next season. They've all had injury issues, right? Not saying that injury prone. Henderson be the most out of the 3 of them. You've then got Curtis Jones, who doesn't have injury issues. He comes in. You've looking then at Milner. It was about 43 now, so I don't know how much more we can rely on him for heavy minutes. You've got Naby and you've got Ox, who, if you put the 2 of them together, you've got 1 injury-prone midfielder. We've got the 2 of them. So the options aren't there. So, you know, if we could move on Ox and Naby, and this isn't a dig at Naby. Everyone thinks it's digs at Naby. He's no use to us. Do you know? And this is the thing. Grizz said it there. Availability. We bang on about it on this show all the time. We need players who are available. Now, one availability thing that I have an issue with Basuma, and Shawnee mentioned it in the chat there, it is the AFCON. You know, it's no use us bringing in one midfield player and it's a player that goes to AFCON. It's no use to us whatsoever, because we'd also be losing Naby as well for that. And, you know, unfortunately, the way the African, the Confederation of African Football, or the CAF or whatever they're called, the way they've structured their tournament is that it's mid-season. They went to the summer and then went straight back to the mid-season. And it's just a nightmare now. We've got enough players that are African. You know, it's nothing against the African players. It's just their confederation. I would like to see maybe, I think, you know, Basuma and our equal one Tielemans. So do you go with one of Tielemans who can do everything? Or do you go for an hour? Even Basuma is very highly linked with Arsenal at the moment. Let's say, see, we're not really linked with any other holder, but you know, Neuhaus isn't a holding midfielder. He's more of a ball midfielder. Yeah, he's more of a ball player. So Basuma is the only real sort of defensive, solidified midfield player that we're being linked with. So yeah, I don't
thing
know
is,
I think I needed.
Yeah, I agree with both of you. But this is where we have to be brave and active in the market. For us to be bringing in two midfielders, we need, unfortunately, the way it is and the way we, you know, finances are, we have to start shifting bodies. And, you know, we haven't got, in my opinion, £30 million assets in the midfield that we were likely to get money for. You know, and this is why, in my opinion, we have to start shifting first. Ideally, we 100% need to, Gav. Ideally, because as you said, Ox and Naby are literally no good for us. I'm not saying they're no good players. I'm saying they're no good for us. And on top of that, you're losing 1 billion minutes from Gini Wijnaldum. So, you know, if you bring in one and then if you can manage to get rid of one of Naby or Ox, ideally, you know, I don't want to give our plans away too much because you'll tell everyone what we've got planned for next week. But ideally, I personally would get rid of both and bring in two out of the aforementioned players that we have in midfield. And that would be brilliant because we do need someone to be a Fabinho replacement, understudy, call it what you want, because we've seen Henderson is far more effective when he's fit as well. Again, another player who misses a lot of games through injury. He's more effective as an 8. So therefore, Basuma would cover Fabinho. And then one of the guys that we've mentioned, an Aouar, a Neuhaus, a Tielemans could cover the Naby Ox role as well.
Do you know what issue I have? Do you know what issue I have with signing the Basuma, let's say, right? Is you're paying 35-40 million for Basuma. I think there's better options elsewhere than 35-40 million for Basuma. Leicester are after signing Boubakary Soumaré, and I think they paid 30 million or 35 million for him. This fella is going to tear up the Premier League, I'd say, next season in that Leicester team. He's going to slot in there and he's going to be amazing. You can get players in France, and he's one of the highest rated in France. Do you know what I mean? You can get players in Ligue 1, they're on their knees. You will get players that are you know, he's a known quantity, Basuma, because he plays in the Premier League. But I just think you could get a 6, backup 6 for a lot cheaper. If we're going in with 100 million budget, let's say, I wouldn't want to spend 35-40 million of that on Basuma. Do you know what I mean? I think there's cleverer ways to spend.
But this is just a last bit before you carry on. Just one little bit. That's the issue we've got with Basuma at the moment. We're not willing to pay more than 25, max 30. We've actually agreed personal terms with Basuma. Bit of breaking news. We have agreed with the player, but the club, we're a little bit way off our valuations. We're not, as Keith says, I agree with you. I'm not willing to pay more than 25, 30 max, and that's what the club stance is, so it seems.
But there's a couple of other names there. There's a super chatting area mentioning Declan Rice. I think he's so fucking overrated, Declan Rice.
Yeah,
I genuinely do. I I don't see what he brings. And someone else said you pay a tax on him because he's English, and you're right. I just don't see it with him. I think he'd be a brilliant centre back, but I don't see it. Whenever I see him play, I don't see it. I think he's very basic in what he does. He's not for me. I don't know what you lads think, but he's not for me. Michael Ramsey says we need goal scorers from midfield. We're far too dependent on the front three. That's where the Youri link is coming from as well. And Liam Cotter said Thiago, in his opinion, was Gini's replacement. I think we only signed one. Dennis Zakari is being mentioned. Rodrigo de Paul is being mentioned. But it just shows, like, when you actually think about it, you could have a kind of a shift in midfield, and then again, it could be just one. You don't know. It's a weird one, isn't it? Like, and we just have to wait and see. But there's loads of names being linked there, but it's about getting players out. The Grizz is right. It's about getting players out the door as well, and it could be a case of, and you very rarely see it, but Liverpool may use Naby Keita as a make-way for somebody. You know, there was tenuous links to Atletico Madrid and Leicester over the last couple of weeks. I seen something in the Athletic yesterday saying that he wants to stay and prove himself and become a prominent member in Liverpool's midfield. We'll have to wait and see. It's a strange one, but I'd be a little bit surprised if we didn't get 2 in. I'm being honest. I'd be a little bit surprised if we didn't get 2 in.
It would be smart, Gav, to use players like that. You know, if we can't get like Naby, you can't force a player to go somewhere, right? But you know, if you could get Naby in a swap deal with cash on top, and Oxlade-Chamberlain and Origi, you could use them, you know, to sweeten deals. I know it's not FIFA, it's not Championship Manager, you know, that you can just throw in a player to add it all up. But in this current sort of, you know, the world is still a bit all over the place, and certainly the football financial world. I think, you know, now is the time you might see more little swaps and little deals that include players going the other way. So, you know, if we can find a Gilly to take some of these boys off,
I think you're spot on, Keith. I think this is the first summer in ages where those FIFA type player swap deals plus cash that we dreamt about all our lives could actually happen. I think there will be a lot of player plus swap, but of course they become very complicated, protracted, especially with agents fees involved and etc., and persuading players. But I think generally transfer wise, I think there will be a lot of player swap sort of plus cash deals going on.
Monty Tariq is looking for some advice. He says he's looking for a new telly to watch a little LFC Daytrippers on. Would you guys look for the most sexy on a Sony or an LG? I've always had LG TVs, and they're
LG as well.
They're unreal. Go for the LG, the OLED 4K messing, and you won't go wrong.
I bought an LG 3D LG telly, and I can't see 3D on the fucking thing because I'm blind in one eye. Well, not fully blind, but I'm lampy in one eye. And you need 2 walking eyes to see through the 3D glasses.
Did he not say that to you about your eyes walking when you went into the shop? No,
he didn't. And I didn't bring her up either. It was only when I got home and I put on the blade glasses. I can only see one colour through it. So
it's just 2.5D. Delvin Jones is breaking news. Hakan, I can never say his name. Calhanoglu Entourage has had contacts with LFC. The parties have started talking, but LFC have not made a formal offer yet. Is this the guy at Milan?
Yeah, he's at Milan. Yeah. He's doing great for Milan this season, in fairness. He's gone there a few years and hasn't done anything, and he's really come to the fore. A few years ago, he was highly rated, but I don't think he's the type of player that we really need. I don't know where he fits in with us, but Grizz might disagree.
No, I'm with you. I'm not a big fan. I think he's an absolute dead ball specialist.
Yeah,
one of the cleanest strikers of the ball. Technically, very, very good. But has he got the drive and power and strength that we demand almost, and the pressing we demand from our midfielders?
Yeah,
you know, unless there's an absolute change of sort of style and emphasis on midfielders that can sort of, you know, give them loads of time on the ball. If you give him time on the ball, he's deadly. He's one of those. A comparison I would make with him, I don't know if you guys agree, Bruno Fernandes of United.
It's a good show.
I don't think he's cut out to be our midfield. I think that the fact that we're trying to persuade a couple of midfielders to make decisions, I think this is one of those that just out there to look. We've got options. And the other thing, if correct me if I'm wrong, someone in the chat, I'm pretty sure he's on a free. which would
Yeah,
make sense as
it
well.
looks like he is available on a free. Emil Nikolov says he'd stay away from Hakan. That's his agent talking. And somebody asked there. Let me see. Here we go. Gulad. I'll have a go at this, Chris. Guled Abakar.
Oh, you're an absolute perfectionist.
Max,
Yeah,
I'm
he's
fucking
brilliant.
telling you. I'll have a job on the news in no time. How concrete are the Shaq rumours? They're rumours that around Sevilla and 14 million. But I think them rumours might have been around last year as well. Sevilla, do you remember?
I seen the rumours, and if anyone's bid 14 million, we'd have snapped it off yesterday. There's no 14 million. The only one I know of myself, concrete, is loan offers and 7 million bids, around the 7-8 million, which we're not entertaining at the moment. Double it, and he's bloody gone out the door.
Husam Chatia says Inter have financial problems. Barella is the player you should go for. I'm a big Lautaro Martinez fan.
And Keith's a big Barella fan. Go on, Keith.
I like Barella. I think he's a good player. The lads in our WhatsApp group, I'm nearly a lone wolf in there, and the likes of Davo, will name and shame Davo, and Shawnee as well. They're not fans of the Italian players, and they've a list as long as their arm of players who've come and failed. And
Davo has it written on his arm. He does.
Yeah, it's a damning list, of players who've come to the Premier League from Italy and haven't really done it. So I can understand where the lads are coming from. But I like Barella. I think he's good. I just think he's the type of player that would fit into our midfield. Now, another name that's been thrown in there, and I had an argument with Avi about this fella, was Pedro Gonçalves off Sporting Lisbon. And to me, I think Barella fits into our team now. I don't see where Gonçalves fits in, because I think, like Grizz said about Çalhanoğlu being like Bruno, I think Gonçalves is like that as well. I think you have to build your team around these players rather than fit them into your system. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's not that Pedro Gonçalves he's a great player. He looks an absolute talent. But I think he has to go somewhere and be the fulcrum. Whereas if he came to Liverpool, I don't think he's good enough for our midfield, and I don't think he's good enough for our front three. Do you know what I mean? So it's a similar sort of thing as Bruno Fernandes.
Rizier says James Ward-Prowse is an underrated player. Would make a good squad player in place of Ox or Keita.
Understudy for Trent.
Yeah,
that's my revolutionary shout. Don't take that away from me, Keith. That's my shout, right? Or was it yours?
Okay, relax.
Or did we say it at the same time? I think
he probably said it and you said it a minute later.
No, Keith's a football man now. I'm sure he said it as well.
Well, Rizier is thrown her in there and he's called the real fair play to him. Jordy T says, but he didn't have Klopp as manager. I don't know what that's about. Brian Murphy disagrees completely. He says Pedro Gonçalves. How do you say his name?
Gonçalves.
Gonçalves. Okay. Hold on. Are you going to start giving? I asked Keith that. I didn't ask you how to pronounce it.
I know. I'm not the person to ask to sort of pronounce names, but look, normal people call it Pedro Gonçalves, but the experts I've been speaking to call him Gonçalves.
But should that C now have look like the bottom half of a 5 underneath
one
it?
Of them ones. Yeah, one of them ones.
We'll have to ring Pedro and see what's going on there. Brian Murphy says Pedro Gonçalves is the one we should be breaking the bank for, in his opinion. But it's mad, isn't it? Like, we're here now. Well, we're talking football probably 30 minutes now, and the amount of midfield names that have come up here. We started with Tielemans and all the names that are coming out, and if we all had our way, we'd have a lot of change in midfield, and I don't know if that'll happen. Henderson, Fabinho, Thiago, fine. Jones is most certainly going to be there. That's 4. And then you're looking at Milner's another year older. You've Keita, you've Ox. You know what I mean? And you're kind of going, do you shift 2? Of course, Wijnaldum's gone. But do you shift a 4 or 2? On top of that, I don't know, lads. I think it might be
I don't think that the 2 that aren't worth it playing shite us. You know what I mean? That's the problem with them. They're just not worth having there, and they're never available.
I don't think we will. I think we should.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's leave it at that, maybe.
Yeah, well, we'll be doing shows on what you think you should do and what we could give you control, and we'll do stuff on that, so don't worry about that. Right, let's move on. I just want to go to centre back, and Konate. It's a constant thing now, all day, every day, across social media and stuff. It's just a case of when this will be announced, and we have artwork ready and all. We have a show ready to press the button on. So if somebody could give us a shout and let us know when we can pencil this show in for, it'd be absolutely brilliant. But that look, we know this one is happening. Grizz, have you heard anything else, or have you seen it, read anything else with regard to any other centre halves, even with Konate arriving? Because Kabak stuff came and kind of disappeared now with regards to what we're doing with him. Have you seen or read anything else?
Yeah, I think once Konate is confirmed, I think we will await offers. I think we will await offers if anyone comes in for Phillips or Matip.
Yeah.
And then I think we will bring in one more centre back later on in the window. I don't think we're going to be settled with just Konate as an incoming centre back.
Okay, Keith.
Yeah, it's big talk of Phillips being put up for sale, which, look, it's not a surprise, I think, to a lot of people. You can make an argument to keep him as a squad option because of his availability, or you move him on and cash in like we didn't do with Divock when we should have done. I think, you look at what's there. You've got Virgil coming back from a bad injury. You've got Joe Gomez from a horror one, and it's his third knee injury. And I've seen reports that they're a bit concerned about how he comes back. Konate, someone said in there, Konate is just the French Matip. Look, just wait and see. You know what I mean? Konate's only young. He's suffered from a bad injury. Let's just wait and see how he pans out. If he doesn't get injured, Konate, I said this last year on the show. I think he's the best centre back available in Europe. I think he's higher than every other centre back. It's the injury issues that make him attainable. So it's a risk. The reward, I think, is worth it. But if we're looking at Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate, and Matip, it's a bit risky. You know what I mean?
Is there a chance of them doing? Is there a chance of them doing Van Dijk? And I keep going back to, you have to be careful with these two coming back. But is there a chance of them getting rid of Phillips and Matip and going in and saying, right, we go Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate, and we go in like Sven Botman has been mentioned there. Yeah. I'd be all over him, like a fucking rash. But is there a chance of them doing that? Just saying, you know what, we're cutting our ties with them too, and we're gonna have our two lads that were main lads at the start of this season. We're bringing in Konate and we're bringing in Botman, and we're making ourselves absolutely rock solid. Is there a chance of that?
But how many? So what would be your starting then? So not starting. What would be your final centre backs in your squad then?
Van Dijk, Gomez, Konate, and Botman.
No, we go with 5. There's absolute zero chance. Zero chance. What, are you saying that with a straight face? I don't know why are you saying that? And that smile's come out. I thought so. Right.
No, continue. Because I'm serious. Ben Davies, I'm getting more and more convinced we're going to keep Ben Davies.
Yeah, no, I get
used as a full-back cover as well.
I get that.
He hasn't been given a chance.
Yeah.
Like, people can say, Klopp.
The word out from him today is that he's finished rehab on a calf injury and ready to go for off-season, pre-season, and next
Ben Davies.
Yeah,
Ben Davies. Yeah,
looking at houses in Scotland, is he? No, I think he could be. I think he's one that we've wrote off too quick, because a lot of players, when you come into Liverpool, you need to learn Klopp's system, and he came from Preston to play in Liverpool. Now that is a huge jump. Kabak came in as well, and he was thrown in because he was more, game ready, more, a more established player. I wouldn't be surprised to see Ben Davies stay and be used as cover, but who knows? He could be the fifth man. I think Rhys Williams goes out on loan. I think it could be a case of, if you got the 4 Gav said and had Ben Davies as well, who knows? That could be the 5.
Jeremiah says, and this is off topic, and he says this is off topic, but if Zidane goes to PSG, Mbappe will stay there. That's an interesting one, isn't it? Didn't think of that.
Yeah.
You didn't think of that. I've been sweating on that all night.
I was playing golf.
No, it is an interesting.
There's no chance. But just finally finishing up on the centre back. Sorry, there's no chance. We've got lads. We all agree, right? There's no way we start the season with relying on 4 centre backs again. Absolutely no chance.
Yeah, but didn't we start last season depending on 3?
We did, Gav. But that's when we absolutely fucked up.
Yeah,
There's,
but
I think Ben Davis.
was,
I think Ben Davis. If Ben Davis is our fifth choice, oh my god, I don't know how I'm gonna feel about that. But I agree with your reasoning, Keith. What you've said makes total sense. I just don't know if we can be trusted to make him our fifth choice.
Yeah, I agree. But, you know, Fabinho was the fourth choice last season, and we were all glad to get him back into midfield. He was only the fourth choice seen. You know, we didn't foresee Van Dijk and Gomez getting them injuries. We thought Matip was obviously susceptible to missing games, but, you know, it was then he went from fourth choice to fourth choice, you know, and that wasn't what we had his squad role for. If you can't foresee injuries, I know that, but, you know, Ben Davies, if he's the fifth choice, he might never really see Carling Cup or something like that. Who knows? I just think he hasn't been given a sniff of game time, and I just think it might be. Maybe it's the ideal money ball, and it's you bring him in and you just flip him and get whatever you can get. You pay whatever 2 million for him and you sell him for 5, and that's great. You know, could be one of them. Who knows? But
we'll have to wait and see. But like we'll have this conversation every week, I'd say, as different names get linked and stuff like that. And we're trying to make at the moment we've nothing concrete on what Liverpool are looking to do with centre half. Like if we have solid information that they were looking to move Joe Matip, then you can try and make some sort of plan, you know, that kind of way. But at the moment we know Canate's coming in and we're trying to piece this together, and it'll probably take a little bit of info on one of, you know, whether it's Kabak's definitely not happening, Ben Davies is not going anywhere, Matip could, you know, Phillips could, then we something solid on that, then we may be able to look at it and piece it together a little bit more. Jeannie Houdini says, does us getting Basuma largely depend on what Arsenal does and what's our feelings on the player? We've discussed the player, but supposedly he's an Arsenal fan, but I don't care if he's an Arsenal fan. I'm sorry, if Liverpool or Arsenal come in for you, don't go near Arsenal. They're an absolute and utter fucking mess from top to bottom. Arsenal fans give out about how they don't spend money. I'm not surprised they don't spend money, because I think it's a very difficult project to sell to anyone, Arsenal. And even if you offer people loads of money, I just think it's so hard to sell Arsenal to people when you see what goes on at that club, you know, nearly every day of the week. I think it's mad. But Basuma, apparently he's an Arsenal fan, so listen, we'll have to wait and see. Lads, before we finish up, we've about 10 minutes to go. I want to talk to you, so, you know, we're talking about midfielders here. We get on to attackers next week as well, and we look at players that may leave the club and any links to that, because I think it will build up now that the season is officially over come Saturday, isn't it, the football season, after the European Cup final. But the manager stuff is mad.
Yeah.
Mad. You know, Shawnee said to me this morning, Gav, stick on TalkSport this morning with Simon Jordan on it. He said, because you know you got beaten last night, Simon Jordan's going to rip them a new one. No, I don't listen to TalkSport. I do like Simon Jordan, though. I'm going to hold my hands up. I like him. I think he just speaks as he wants to speak, and he doesn't give a shit who he's talking to. And when he's slapping Trevor Sinclair around a little bit, it's good. It's good listening. But the manager stuff is, Grizz, I come to you. You know, you see Solskjaer, the rumour tonight is that he's getting a new 3-year deal. I don't know how true that is. Pochettino, after being sacked by Spurs and going and being fairly average for me at PSG, Spurs are looking for him back, which makes me think that Harry Kane's calling the shot to Spurs now. Yeah. And
because he didn't leave on good terms either. Like, there was a big souring that went on there.
There was. And then you look at Allegri, looks like he's going back to Juventus. You've got Conte that I don't know if he's gone from Inter, but he's gone. So you have him that he's like, no, I'm not fucking, you're cutting wages and cutting all this. No, I'm not having it. Grizz, there's just like clubs can plan, but when you see all this going on, does it put leaving clubs not looking for managers? Does it put them in a holding pattern? Does they go, hold on, you know, we like our manager, but Antonio Conte is over here, and Pochettino is itching out at PSG. Zidane has left Real Madrid. You know, does it put a load of people in a holding pattern now to see exactly what way these cards fall?
Yeah, absolutely. And even as you said, even sort of players wanting to move clubs want to know who's going to be in bloody charge. You know, players have affiliation with coaches or sometimes not got on with a certain coach, etc., etc. It's been mental. I think Zidane started it, didn't he? In terms of, no, it may have been Conte. Probably simultaneously, they left their clubs, decided to leave their clubs for differing reasons. Conte's been told he has to sell one of his major assets, i.e. Lautaro or Lukaku, which hasn't gone down with Conte. Conte's like that. Conte is brilliant. Conte is, you stay on his right side and he'll build you a title winning team. And he'll make it absolutely, play above the limits, above their potential. We know some of the Premier League exiles that have gone to sort of Inter and won the league with him. It's a brilliant achievement. But if you disagree with him on anything, Conte is the type of guy who will just pack his bags and go. And the reason for that is because he can walk into any club in the world. And I'll repeat that. I genuinely think he's underrated as one of the elite coaches. I mean, Keith made his record.
It's because he leaves the teams in a bleeding awful way, and he leaves on bad terms all the time.
So would we say he's the modern day Jose Mourinho?
He sort of has that about him. He does have that about him. He goes in on the short term, Grizz, you're spot on, and he is a winner. He goes in and he went into Inter and he got them the league title away from Juventus. And remember, Juventus bought fucking Ronaldo, and we're assuming that league titles were the least that they were going to get, and ends up getting the title away from them. So Conte will go to Madrid. That seems to be the talk. He goes into Madrid. That's what they need, maybe their own version of Simeone, but he'll be gone out of there within 2 years. Do you know what I mean? He's not going to be a long-term project for them. So it's mad the way this merry-go-round has gone, and it's interesting the way the players who are gone and the jobs that are available, because everyone's linking Zidane with PSG. I think Zidane has Juventus wrote all over him, but Juventus are going for Allegri. Can't understand that at all.
Yeah, it's mad how these comebacks are taking place. I mean, Pochettino being linked today strongly with the Spurs, and then reliable Spanish journalists are saying he's 100% being approached for the Madrid job. And he's been barely at PSG for 6 months, I think, something like that. Will he want to leave it? Has he fallen out with the owners there? Apparently rumors of a rift between Pochettino and Leonardo, the football director, who apparently has a falling out with everyone, but except the owner, who loves him. So we were talking about, do you remember last week we were talking about the amount of strikers that are available in the market, and it's going to be it's going to be magnificent. One move is going to trigger something else. Well, the manager bloody situation has triggered off, hasn't he? And who's going Conte to Madrid? If Zidane goes to PSG, does that mean Kylian signs the new deal? Repercussions everywhere. It's an amazing summer we've got in line, guys.
It's mad, and amazing summer. It's only the 27th or 28th of May or whatever it is. Michael Ramsey says Liverpool's have an issue, he feels, if Fabinho is a centre-back option next season. He thinks Klopp will go VVD, Matip, Kanate, Gomez with Davis, Williams, and I think he means Billy Cametio as three kind of understudy backups. Micah Johnson has told us about 140 times in the chat here that we missed the super chat. I was looking
there and I can't find it.
I can't find the super chat from Micah Johnson, and nothing come up on my screen. But if he wants to...
just say it. We'll put it up. Of course we will.
Yeah, if he wants to just copy and paste it back in, Micah Johnson, in capitals if you can, so we can see it. But nothing come up on our screen with regards to a super chat.
I'm off that being checking as well.
Yeah, no, couldn't see it. Somebody asked me there, did you like Simon Jordan when he was talking about... I think it was... who was it who said it to me? It's usually someone that always picks me. It might have been Jono. He picks me up on everything I say. He's worse than me, ma. He says here, he said, Gav, do you like Jordan when he was ripping Trent's selection in the England squad? I didn't say I always agree with him. I just like the way he speaks. I don't.
He backs everything up that he says. And
if I agreed with everything Simon Jordan said, I wouldn't listen to him. I like listening to things that I don't agree on. I didn't hear him on Trent's selection. But when I listen to him, I agree with a lot. I don't agree with a lot, but I like the way he speaks. I like the way he just says it. I don't know how he actually spends time with the likes of Jim White and Trevor Sinclair and the like. I don't know how he does it. I really don't. But I thought, John, you like picking me up on these things, so I thought I'd answer you. Let me see. Sim says, if Zidane ruins the Mbappe dream, I'm going to cry. And Freewood says, Goldstein having a meltdown. He's, now listen, that's the sort of fella you just don't want to spend time with. Yeah. But the manager stuff is mad interesting to me, because like even if you look at Solskjaer, and United are going mad over him, and I seen some YouTube content last night as well from United fans, and absolute meltdowns over last night. And I understand where they're coming from a little bit, because they looked flat. They looked absolutely flat with no plan. If they went ahead in that game on 75, they looked like they had no plan. They were running out of legs as well. And I'm wondering how much they back Ole Gunnar Solskjaer in the summer. Because I have a feeling, I don't care if they give him a 3-year deal. I think if this doesn't go well, I think he'd be gone by Christmas. I genuinely do. But that's their business, isn't it? If it goes badly, sure, we'll have a great crack. That's just the way it is.
But it's true, Gav, before we move off that, like, Solskjaer is doing just enough to avoid the sack that he's got, his head just above the water. And they need to be ruthless and say, look, you're out, because we can get a Zidane or a Conte or an Allegri or a fucking manager of some sort of caliber who are all out there looking for jobs. Pochettino, there's so many of them out there, and they're going to stick with him. And it's going to be to their detriment, because they'll sack him by Christmas. And then you don't know who the fuck they're going to be left with. They'll still get a good big manager, because this is what I'm
saying. This is what I'm saying. Does the likes of Conte, Allegri back in the mix, Zidane, Pochettino going to PSG, which leaves an opening there. Does this put the like of Manchester United in a holding pattern where they say, strong things tonight about him actually signing a 3-year deal, which is fucking mind-boggling to me. But anyway, it's absolutely mad. Let me see. And we're sorry to Micah Johnson for missing the super chat, but there it is there. But nothing come up on our screen. It comes up in big blue or green or red writing, so we don't miss them.
The tab comes up and all on the top.
Yeah. You can't miss them. Like, you can just click them and find them. It's not hard, and they stay on the screen for ages. But I'm just wondering, like, does it? Especially with Woodward going, because he was meant to be Woodward's boy, wasn't he? I like on a Solskjaer. I'm wondering, does it just make them go, I'm not too sure, should we make a move on somebody else? But it'd be interesting. Micah, anyway, with a super chat, here we go. Everybody, shh. Grizz was annoyed with you. Grizz, I think Micah was annoyed with you on the Big Six for being an Arteta sexual, which is a fucking amazing word. But I have to say, you and Gav's insight in football are among the best. He loves us. He loves you, Grizz. Right. He was annoyed with you.
He's a big, like Jono with you previously. Micah has a lot of goes at me on a few shows, but he's recently shown plenty of love for me. So all's good in what's the saying, Keith?
Love and war.
Love and war. I'm just making sure in case I fuck it up.
Yeah, just making sure before you said something else. Like, but no, I love when Jono pulls me up on stuff as well. That's what it's about,
exactly.
Throw it in there, and we'll have a chat about it. Lee Morrissey says Woodward isn't leaving until December. I thought he was leaving in the summer. Maybe
I thought he was bringing it forward, but it mustn't have been accepted, or it must have been some token fucking gesture, because he did talk about bringing it forward, but then he's front and centre last night looking for the medal when they won the Europa League. Do you know what I mean? So I don't know, he must be there for a while. You wouldn't think he'd be able to have much say on the fucking managerial.
Not if he's on his way out in the summer or December.
No chance.
No, he's there. It's a token gesture now at this stage.
We're speaking about managers and coaches, and we haven't even mentioned one of our own, Rafa Benitez. Krishna mentioned it in the chat, and I just remembered our own Rafa Benitez looking for a job as well. There's some names out there at the moment, guys.
But it's Simon Jordan again on that talk show on TalkSport today, was saying, it was interesting. He was talking about the managerial merry-go-round and saying about how there's now clauses in contracts, so you end up buying a manager, that some of them now have a price in that contract that you can buy. And it was funny, they were talking about Celtic, and saying, Celtic are looking for a manager, and Simon Jordan's like, yeah, but they're not looking in the same places as Spurs, there's levels. But you forget that Celtic are looking for a manager. Crystal Palace are looking for a manager now because Roy Hodgson is gone. There's going to be so many. So the jobbers will still get their jobs.
Chris Wilder's gone to West Brom.
Decent job there, Championship. Chris Wilder, good appointment.
Yeah. Who took over at Sheffield United? Have they appointed anyone?
They've got they have. They've got how do you pronounce his name? Bloody hell! Someone's going to help me in the chat. I think he was the brain's gone. But
this is the insight that Michael loves from you, is it?
Yeah. You just sit there rubbing your head.
Djokanovic, that's the one. There you go. Can you blame me for getting
the guy that was in charge at Fulham?
Yeah.
Wow.
For Chelsea.
Well, I don't know how.
He's good. He's good at championship level as well. In fairness, Liverpool Djokanovic, he was at Fulham and Watford, I think, as well. Like he's all right at that.
He played for Chelsea.
He gets in there. He played for Chelsea.
I like him. Yeah. He did, yeah. Near the end of his career.
Chelsea, yeah.
I like him.
I have to go back and look at that. Can't remember him at Chelsea.
He was a squad player. Like he'd get games. He was at the end of his career, but yeah, he was at Chelsea.
Okay. And what year was that?
It could have been around Mourinho, Ranieri time, I'd say. More Ranieri's era, I'd say.
Okay, I'm trying to picture him at Chelsea and I can't. But anyway, we'll have to wait and see. Eddie Howe to Celtic is the word. Like
that's been the word for 6 months.
This is what the fucking problem is with these clubs. Like Eddie Howe left Bournemouth and went to Burnley and got homesick and went home. Like fuck's sake. Do you know where are they moving Celtic down to the fucking south coast? I don't know. Anyway, I don't know. The Celtic should have went all out for Rafa Benitez. All out.
That's dead right, Gav. There's a name sitting out there that's not getting linked with any jobs, and he's one of the best in the business. I know we're biased to Rafa Benitez, but if you take that off, ask Newcastle fans what they think of Rafa Benitez.
Oh, I love him. Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like it's not just Liverpool.
But Bonkers says Wolves for Rafa. We'll have to wait and see. I don't know how Rafa is on top of loads of people's lists.
Wolves will be getting their favourite. Bruno Lage is the favourite, the ex-Benfica manager there. And they're also looking at, I think, Sergio Conceição. So there'll be a Portuguese manager coming into Wolves to link up with Jorge Mendes and the model they have in place. So I can't see it being like a Rafa.
Yeah, Gavin Walsh reckons Parker to Spurs, which would be another fucking mad decision, but you never know. Like when they're looking to get their manager back that they sacked 18 months ago, I don't know.
Parker would be a good shout to a likes of a Crystal Palace or something, I think.
Yeah, we have to see as well.
Crystal Palace job as well, bloody hell.
Yeah.
AC Milan goalkeeper, free agent, go back up to Alisson. If not, who's that? Who's
Donnarumma?
No, Donnarumma's.
No, Donnarumma will go
to
Juventus.
Yeah. And Mark Gibbons says, lads, why would you sell Phillips for 10 million? Makes no sense. Need him as backup for Kanati and VVD. Matip can step outside the door. Can't step outside the door without getting injured. It's a good point. How much is 10 million worth you?
I mean, look, I'm not going to lie. Matip's an amazing defender.
Yeah, I love him.
But unfortunately, we'll struggle to get, in my humble opinion, more than 15 million for him because of the state of him.
Yeah.
You know,
we'll have to wait and see. As I said, we're gonna have to wait for something to develop, something concrete to develop in the centre half situation, and possibly in the midfield, more so probably in the midfield because we have Kanate. Looks like it's a done deal, but we're waiting to see what happens midfield was. And I think once one or two bodies in the forward line like Shaqiri and Origi go, I think Liverpool will start triggering something. I'm pretty certain we'll have something agreed for a midfielder by end of next week as well. I'm pretty certain. See. Right, so that's about it. On Sunday though, is the Fatback 4. Today is Thursday. Tomorrow is Friday. Chris, Keith, P, and Gar, I think. You are doing some sort of draft tomorrow night, aren't you? So that should be fun tomorrow night. 10 o'clock. Saturday we're off. Sunday we're back with the Fatback 4. And we are going to see who actually is Michael Edwards. And it's a special show we're going to do on Sunday night. It will be me, it will be Keith, it will be Grizz, and it will be Shawnee. But it will all be centred around Michael Edwards. Okay, the lads have been set a challenge, and that challenge will come to fruition on Sunday night on the Fatback 4. And as I said, we're going to vary our stuff throughout the summer. We are going to have quizzes, we are going to have drafts. We will throw me and Andy in the odd night to have a bit of crack. We will try recording audio podcast with as many day trippers as we can, current and former. And yeah, we will cover the Euros. I know Avi wants to do some stuff on the Copa America. It's all going to happen over the summer. And as I said, we are working extremely hard towards next season already with designs and shows and lineups and all sorts of stuff. But leave it to us. We will get there. But next week is Winners' Week. Because we've passed 10k, we are going to have winners on the show next week. We're all winners anyway, but we're going to have winners next week. Grizz has penciled himself in for Sunday week to go on the bike. I don't think Keith has to do any sort of forfeit. I think he got off this one. Yeah, I have to eat an Indian meal, don't I?
There you go.
Yeah.
Does Grizz get to pick what you've
Grizz gets to pick the menu for me in an Indian meal that I will order takeaway and have and report back on, no problem. And I think that's it for the 10k. Oh, obviously next week, PlayStation 5 or FIFA 21 will be given away. Everyone that's a subscriber is in, right? You're in with a chance to win. I will tell you though, you need to watch the shows next week, right, to enhance your chances of winning. Okay, and what I mean by that is that basically how we're going to work it is every show next week, somebody of our subscribers watching is going to qualify, and we're going to get some guests to nominate some of you subscribers to go in for a chance to win the PlayStation 5. So if you're watching next week, you absolutely enhance your chances because obviously you're in there, you're watching, you hear what's going on, you get in there, and we will give away a PlayStation 5 and FIFA 21. People have asked us, have we got it in our possession? No. It's impossible to have a PlayStation 5 in your possession. It's impossible, okay? But we have got it ready as soon as they start coming into Ireland, we will have one. Don't worry about it. And it won't matter how long it takes to get it. You will get a PlayStation 5 and FIFA 22 by the time they
Gav, a lot of people are saying, how is eating an Indian sort of punishment of any sort? And could you explain that to people that may think, what
Mr. Slackana says, what sort of forfeit is that, Gav? You definitely have one here. I've never eaten an Indian meal, right? Ever.
Can you expand and say you've never eaten anything apart from potatoes?
No, that's not true.
No,
eggs.
I haven't. I love Chinese. I love Chinese. I love Chinese. But they just put too much yogurt in that bleeding food. Like when it comes to Indians, all I can vision is pink coloured sauce and yops. That's all I can vision.
You're missing it all, Gav.
I probably am.
Missing it, yeah.
I probably am. Our Kumar says I'm a racist. I'm not a fucking racist. I just don't like Indian food. I just have a vision of Indian food and I don't like it. I love Chinese food. Chinese food. I've had Thai food. Loved it. But
Indian as well.
Indian just doesn't do it for me. But I am going to eat it.
I think Jonathan's got it here.
I don't. I'm actually not a big fan of potatoes at all. In any form, I'm not a big fan of them. I have to be honest with you. They're just fucking stodgy and shy. But yeah, I'm gonna have my Indian meal. So as I said, Winners' Week next week, PlayStation 5. Every subscriber is in with a chance, right? So basically, you're in with a chance because you're a subscriber, and then you come and watch, you enhance your chances. Okay, so if someone's watching this show next week and we run a competition, or run a part of our competition to get in for the PlayStation 5, and they get the answer, and we check that they're not a subscriber, they won't get in. Do you get me? So it's a watch to win, but you have to be a subscriber to win. Obviously, we're also going to be giving away some other prizes next week. Mainly, we will be giving away some vouchers for our new shop and stuff like that, and anything else we can come across, we will absolutely do that as well. But we're going to try to give away a few bits on every show next week, starting from Sunday night. So we will have shows throughout the week, and in the Fatback 4, where Grizz is on a bike, we will announce the winner of the PlayStation 5. Okay, I hope that works for you. Thanks a million for subscribing, getting us over the 10k. There was nearly 900 of you again watching here tonight, which was absolutely fabulous. Grizz, anything else before we go?
No, pal. I'm just checking through Deliveroo and Uber Eats what I'm going to order for you, but we've got a bit of time.
What are you thinking?
I think it's spicy Grizz or
relax.
Because you see, I have to be careful. You have to be careful here because,
of course,
if you get me something that I think is disgusting, I'm never going to hear it again.
Of course, my aim is to make you a love Indian food. So so I'm going to pick, and I know, you haven't had anything sort of even remotely spicy, so I'm not going to give you something that you're not going to be able to eat. You've got to be able to eat it. Yeah, you got to be able to eat it. I think do we trust him enough, Keith, to say he ate it, or is there a
I'll video it.
Yeah,
yeah,
he's gonna
is
have
there a
to,
Clement to video it or on a
I'll
show?
video it.
yeah,
No problem.
have to
I
be.
get my wife to video it. No problem.
Grand.
No problem.
Yeah.
I love the
Put that
way
chicken
I love the way you
just,
say grand now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm part of the
the
family.
Irish in him, yeah.
Yeah,
It's the
it
Irish.
is. It's really coming out. Keith, anything
More
else
Irish
before we
than
go?
Declan, right?
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. No, we'll have the predictor race stuff as well.
Oh, yeah.
Will be after the champ. We're still totting up the entrance into that, but after the Champions League final, we'll have that. So it really is winners week.
What are we giving away for that? Will we just give away the new Liverpool jersey for that?
We could do, yeah, we could do.
Yeah.
We gave away a lot of stuff, haven't we, over with the likes of the Keane stuff and all, and you know, we're very generous like that, so I'm sure we'll have
One last shout out for Kieran Thorne, who's a brilliant friend of the show. Your shirt has arrived. Thank you very much.
Well, who did you get on it?
You don't worry about that. I shall be donning that on Sunday. Thank you very much. Just wanted to give a shout out to Kieran Thorne as well for that.
Okay.
Top man.
Good stuff. Top man. Yeah, sticks to his word when he loses a bit. Fair play to him. Right, that is it. That has been the transfer agenda. As I said, thanks a million again for getting us to 10k. The road now is towards 20k, and between us working as hard as we can and you working as hard as you can to support us, we will absolutely get to that. There's no doubt about it. That has been it. Talk to you in a bit. Over now.